going to Texas. I've never been there before, and it was scary. But my fear of getting arrested again and the fine and all that pushed me forward. And so I got there, discovered that transmission fluid needs to be checked because it was really low, and I'd never checked it before. And my car, when I put it the next morning, when I put it in gear, it actually in drive, it actually went in reverse. But luckily, it just needed transmission fluid. That was a good vehicle, the van. And that van, in fact, was my home. I lived in that thing for a long time. You know, I had a bed in the back and stuff like that. It was just a simple cargo van, 1975 cargo van, no windows. But anyway, so when I got up there, I did discover that I'm kind of screwed on trying to find a job because where he was at, the jobs were pretty far away. I didn't know the place. I was afraid to drive because I could get arrested again. And what do you think's going to happen? They're going to take away my vehicle, right? Yeah, and go to jail and get another fine. So I didn't know what to do. And so I was there for 3 months. Within the second month, I had come up with an idea. I noticed that on my adoption papers that there was no word void. Somebody had mentioned that. 1970 and on, it would say void across the birth certificate. That way you could never use it, you know? And mine did not. I was born in 1969, and so it didn't say void. So what I decided to do was go and get an ID card using that birth certificate, and I did. Then I used it to go and sign up for the military again. So I had two military numbers, plus now I had two ID cards, and then I used it to get a Social Security card. So I had two of those. Then I dyed my hair blonde, and I went by my new name, which was my birth name. I went by that name. First name was still the same, but the middle and the last was different. And that's what I did. So I still didn't have a driver's license though. How would I get that? And in Texas, it's big. It's, oh my God, I would be scared to do a test in that town. So what I ended up doing was, I just kind of, relaxed and got to know my dad. He worked for a liquor company. He wasn't an alcoholic, but a nice alcoholic and never out of control, talkative, told me about his life and stuff like that. I can ask him anything I wanted. But I started drinking too, and he had no problem with that. He had a collection of booze, but his job was to deliver liquor and beer to different liquor stores. That's what he did for a living. And anything that was messed up, he got to keep and take home. So anyway, he left on the third month. He ended up leaving for a couple of days. He trusted me. He said, don't let anybody be in the apartment. And there was this girl that I was having sex with, like I had sex in my van with her. But anyway, I brought her in not to have sex, but just because she wanted to use the phone. And then before you know it, she brought in more people, and there was a whole bunch of people in the apartment. Someone ended up stealing $50 from me. I ended up trying to hit the person, but they shut the door, and I put a hole in the door on the inside. A little one, not a full hole, but a hole. Anyway, I was drunk off my ass. Okay, I fucked up. See? Always fucking up. And this was my father that, I only got to know like 5 months completely, period, in my whole life. Anyway, the landlord showed up the next morning, and because I wasn't on the lease, said that I had to leave. And then when my dad showed up, I had put a poster over the hole of the door. But when he came in, I ended up telling him what happened, and he started crying. He wasn't mad at me. He said I was disappointed. I'm disappointed in you, Malcolm. So anyway, he ended up giving me his rent money in order for me to leave. So what was I supposed to do next? I decided to go back to Hutch, where I was born, where my biological mother was. And I didn't know what to do. But I ended up staying with, you won't believe this, my best friend, because we repaired things, and my ex-fiance, because they were together and they had a kid by that time. So I'm in the house, I'm looking at this child going back and forth in the baby swing, and I'm thinking, this should have been mine, because in fact she had got pregnant but had a miscarriage, but if we had stayed together, she would have had my child. But things didn't turn out that way. But at least everything got repaired, and they let me stay with them, and I was grateful. But Bad things happen to people who do bad things, and it was coming up. All right, thanks for watching. It's just me keeping it real. Bye.